This is BBC London with me, Assad Ahmed. Coming up on the programme. It remains hot and for many, homes remain uncomfortable in this heat. We hear from residents about the problems faced.
It's been extremely difficult as a 73-year-old pensioner. I felt at times that I couldn't breathe.
And as this current heat wave continues across London, today's temperatures at Wisley rose to 35.5 Celsius. There is news of something a little less hot coming for the weekend. Not much, but a little. I'll have all the details at the end of the programme.
That's all to come shortly. Also on the programme this evening, arguing in court, US firm Palantir says the Mayor's office unlawfully blocked a multi-million-pound contract with the Metropolitan Police. The Mayor's office says there was nothing unlawful about it. The pop group from South Korea bringing music, culture and friendship to London, whilst also boosting business. Good evening. This hot weather we're having is causing its fair share of problems for millions of people. We've now had more hot days above 34 Celsius than we did in the summer of 1976. Before we even take a step outdoors, many of us are struggling indoors because our homes simply aren't designed for this heat. Well, there are some, it has to be said, who are lucky enough to have air conditioning, but for most of us, it's tough. Layla Hayes has been looking into the problem of hot homes.
What I've had to do is buy this reflective panelling, which actually reflects the heat away.
Flora Flynn is trying to keep her flat cool, but in this heat wave, it isn't easy.
It's very important that you attach it to the frame of the window and not on the window, because if there's not enough airflow to the window will get super duper hot.
She's lived in the flat in Stratford for almost a decade, but as the summers get hotter, Flora is now struggling to cope.
There is nowhere to go in this building to escape it. The corridors, because we've got communal heating, we have got heat coming from the floors, the walls and the ceilings. It's been extremely difficult as a 73-year-old pensioner. I felt at times that I couldn't breathe. I was laying on the floor wondering, how am I going to get through this? This is before I put the reflective up.
Flora says she'd like air conditioning, but can't afford it.
These panels have helped stop the sun coming into Flora's flat, but it is still 30 degrees in here and it's only mid-morning.
The property's management company say they can't turn off the communal boilers because that would cut the hot water.
We've produced this guide, it's called the Overheating Adaptation Guide for Homes.
This expert says all developers need to plan for heat waves.
In modern build flats like this, communal heating and pipes embedded in the floors and the walls only exacerbates the problem, and that's like a year-round issue. So I think, from a very practical point of view, developers should really be thinking about better insulation of those pipes, more containment and isolation of those kinds of heating systems from people's living spaces.
The heat in the bedroom is unbelievable. You just feel you're going to melt.
Flora has just ordered a new fan and is hoping it will help. But like many of us, she's now waiting for the heat wave to end. Layla Hayes, BBC London.
And just to let you know, there are some tips on how to make your home cooler on the BBC News website and also the BBC News app. But pretty much everyone now has a story on how the heat is affecting them this summer. And we'd like to hear more of those stories. Do get in touch with us if you've maybe changed the way you're living your life. Maybe you're loving the hot weather and it's saving you money from going abroad to get some sun. Well, whatever the story, scan the QR code on the screen behind me to send us a WhatsApp message, or you can email us at hellobbclondon@bbc.co.uk. If you're missing the QR code because your phone's not handy, just go back on the iPlayer, hit pause when you get to this bit and you can take your time and scan it. We look forward to hearing and maybe sharing your stories with us. Now, apart from the hot weather, there's plenty more going on today, and we look ahead to tomorrow.
I'll have the latest from SW19 as Wimbledon gears up for tomorrow's semi-final showdown between French Open champion Alexander Zverev and London's very own surprise contender, Fery.
The US tech giant Palantir has claimed it was unlawfully blocked from a £50 million contract with the Metropolitan Police. The company is suing the Mayor's Office for Policing and Crime after it refused to approve the deal, saying it hadn't been properly awarded. Well, the Met Police told a court today what they've told us already, that delays to the contract will lead to cuts in frontline policing. Our political editor, Carl Mercer, was in court today. And, Carl, the two sides, they look as far apart as ever.
Yeah, it's not a very happy situation. Probably helps if I read a couple of the quotes from the court this morning. So Palantir saying about this contract, saying the refusal of it by the Mayor's Office was a manifest error, disproportionate and unreasonable. Coming back on the other side, the Mayor's Office said they had significant grounds for concern in relation to the process to award it. So not a lot of common ground. And what this contract was supposed to do, it was supposed to help speed up investigations. So like going through records, going through phone data, that sort of thing, to make investigations quicker. Without it, the Met Commissioner said, and told us earlier, as you said, that they could lose between 500 and 700 jobs. And this was when the Mayor turned down the contract back in June. So quite a bitter dispute.
And so you've got Palantir on one side, you've got the Mayor's Office for Policing on the other side. Bang in the middle is the Metropolitan Police, but they're very clear about where they stand. Yeah,
and the Met Commissioner has been very clear all along. He said, look, it was helping speed up investigations, and it would have meant that we wouldn't have had to cut as many officers as we were planning to do so. As I said, 500 to 700 jobs, he now says, could go. And in court today, the Met's brief said it was very unpalatable. Additional cuts to significant frontline policing could come the longer that this trial went on, because they were hoping for a very speedy end to this trial, hoping that it could be done in October. In the end, the judge decided it's not going to be until January that the full court case is heard. So that's another 6 months of waiting.
Wow, that's a long court case ahead of us. I know you're going to follow it every step of the way. Thanks very much for that, Carl Mercer. Well, now a moment to take a look at some more local stories in the headlines today. A review has found that 3 patients may have died prematurely and others suffered severe permanent harm under a consultant at St Helier Hospital in Sutton. A review found Dr Veronica Varney gave outdated advice on lung disease, failed to prescribe proven drugs and misread test results. The Trust is reviewing more than 200 cases and admits earlier concerns were not acted upon. Well, Dr Varney retired 3 years ago. A man has denied the attempted murder of 10 people who were stabbed on a train bound for King's Cross last year. Passengers were injured on the service travelling from Doncaster in November. 33-year-old Anthony Williams also pleaded not guilty to 11 other offences. Emergency repairs are underway after a sinkhole suddenly appeared in a road in Romford. South Street is closed both ways near the train station, which is also affecting 25 bus routes. Well, Havering Council believes it's been caused by emergency water mains repairs. And a man in Herne Hill who has a giant piece of the Berlin Wall in his garden could be forced to remove it. Stephen Thorpe shipped a chunk of history home from Germany, but neighbours complain it's ruined their view. Southwark Council says it needs planning permission and will look at the case. Now, Thames Water says a multi-million-pound upgrade to treatment works in Surrey will reduce the amount of sewage going into the River Mole. It's a fact that every year Burstow Sewage Treatment Works pumps raw sewage into the river, which is why Thames Water wants the upgrade. However, campaigners say it's still not enough. Here's Fiona Irving.
Now we're going to take a sample of the crude that's coming in the sewage works. untreated sewage full of toxic chemicals and harmful bacteria.
Keep your lips shut.
Raw effluent from this treatment works near Hawley used to spill into the nearby River Mole for more than 1,000 hours a year. But now a £26 million upgrade is looking to change that.
So these are our new combined activated sludge and settlement tanks, and these are part of our investment that allows us to treat 27% more flow to a higher quality here at Burstow.
Thames Water has a poor track record of sewage spills into the River Mole. It's been fined millions of pounds for its pollution into the catchment. Conservationists who've been monitoring the river say the upgrade works needed to have happened years ago.
This project really only brings it up to where it should have been, and projections of climate change with much heavier rainfall and even hotter conditions like we're experiencing today, and the growth we're seeing in the catchment, all of these things will bring in heavier load to these sewage treatment works, which, although they're being upgraded, will still suffer from the same sorts of problems we fear into the future.
Thames Water says the project means treated effluent leaving the site now has lower phosphorus and ammonia levels.
That's what comes in, the crude, and that's what goes out.
This has been a site of concern for some time. Why did you not do those works years ago?
Well, I think that's a fair question, and I think if we look back historically at the levels of investment that have been put into the industry, maybe they haven't been enough to do everything that we'd wanted to do. And I think now we're in a situation, I often say to people, this is the time to be alive in our sector, because actually the emergence of monitoring, the public's awareness of what's happening across the sector, and the lobbying that has been done has actually helped the wastewater sector put a focus on the investment that's needed.
Campaigners say they'll keep on lobbying and testing to see whether water quality improves. Fiona Irving, BBC London.
Now, it's one of two of London's major bridges that vehicles can't currently cross. Albert Bridge in West London has been shut to traffic since February after a crack was found and caused concerns over safety. Well, repairs are underway, but it's not expected to fully reopen until next year. Local people are frustrated, but from today, they'll be kept more up to date. Here's Barry Caffrey.
Sunrise over Albert Bridge. But at the moment, this bridge linking Chelsea with Battersea is only open to pedestrians and cyclists, having closed earlier this year for urgent repair work.
As a local resident myself, I see the impacts every single day. So all the traffic, unfortunately, has been diverted to Battersea Bridge, just to our west here. And that has had impacts across Kensington and Chelsea and also Wandsworth on the other side of the river.
That congestion is something people living nearby are frustrated about.
It's impossible to get anywhere. The traffic is tenfold. You know, even trying to get over Chelsea Bridge or Battersea Bridge, you have to allow at least an extra hour. And you can't pop backwards and forwards. You know, lucky I can walk everywhere, but otherwise it really is a massive impact.
There's just so much congestion. Like, I think if you can see it, it's crazy. I think, it's like a major road to getting back into kind of like central London.
It's kind of nice to have the pedestrian-friendly space, but, if that stops people from getting to work and the places they need to go, that feels like a problem.
It's backing up throughout the town, so yeah, I think that's been the main impact.
Just explain, just for the normal person that might not know about bridges, why is this taking so long? Why are we not going to have the bridge reopening until next year? Is it because it's such an old structure?
Absolutely, Barry. So the bridge is probably the only one in the world like this. So we need to forge especially the iron components. We can't just buy them off the shelf. And obviously researching that, taking time to do that and doing it properly takes a lot of effort.
Albert Bridge has been closed to vehicles since February this year. The bridge itself dates back to 1873, and because it's so old, replacement parts have to be specially made. The council says it hopes the bridge can fully reopen next year. Barry Caffrey, BBC London, Chelsea.
Wimbledon now, and it's the day after Arthur Fery's magnificent quarter-final win on centre court. It's also the day before he meets number 2 seed Alexander Zverev in the semi-finals. Well, the local lad has already achieved so much, but can he go even further? Let's cross to Wimbledon now and hear from Chris Slegg. Chris.
Yeah, Asad, that is the question everyone's asking. I mean, we have been captivated here today by the ladies' semi-finals, but from a British perspective, everyone's talking about those men's semi-finals tomorrow. We've seen some great ones over the years, haven't we? Tim Henman on 4 occasions, semi-finalist, never took that final step. Andy Murray, it took him till his 4th semi-final to finally get into a final. And of course, he went on to win 2 of his 3 finals. But for Arthur Fery, this is a complete surprise. He started these championships ranked number 114 in the world. But tomorrow, he gets his semi-final chance. Arthur Fery, only the 2nd man ever to enter Wimbledon as a wild card and reach the semi-final. He's so far past every test that's come his way. Tomorrow, though, the toughest yet, as he faces recent French Open winner Alex Zverev for a place in the final.
It will be a step up again, ranking-wise and player-wise. Alex won Roland Garros a few weeks ago, so yeah, we all know the player he is. I'm going to have nothing to lose again. I'm just going to go out there and do my best, and it's going to be a great experience regardless.
An experience he could only have dreamed of when he first picked up a racket at the West Side Club, just yards from where he grew up in Wimbledon. Those who coached him then could not be prouder.
It's amazing to see him playing at that level and pursuing his dreams. And he's got a great work ethic and great discipline, and he's clearly a fighter.
He'll need that fighting spirit on centre court tomorrow, as will Fery's opponent, who knows exactly who the crowd will be rooting for.
It's going to be a great atmosphere. Of course, I know that 99% of the people will be cheering for him, but I also enjoy those kind of atmospheres. I enjoy when the energy is very high. And for me, British crowds, or the crowd here at Wimbledon, is always quite fair.
Fery is only the 5th British man to reach the semis since the Open era began in 1968. Can he follow Andy Murray as only the 2nd to make the final? Home fans are happy to have a new hero to back.
I think it's brilliant. Such a shock, such a surprise, to get in on a wild card. Wasn't really following him at all, and now of course he's the big one. We're all following him.
Absolutely amazing. Pride of Britain, and I think the whole country's so glad to have him in the semi-final now.
So what chance of one more glorious chapter in the Arthur Fery tale?
Can he go all the way? Could he win Wimbledon? Well, I didn't think he would get this far, to be honest. So, I mean, obviously he can, but it's going to be tough. But you never know with him. I mean, he believes in himself totally, and that's the most important thing, is whether he believes it. And he believes he can beat anybody right now. So good luck to him.
Whatever the result tomorrow, for what he's achieved so far, Wimbledon has already crowned its own King Arthur. Yeah, Zverev in the semi-finals and then Sinner or Djokovic in the final. It's going to be a tall order, isn't it? But you never know. And here in London, we also have to thank Stanford University in California for 3 years of Arthur Fery's development. He went out there to study and train, and I'm delighted the head coach from Stanford University, Paul Goldstein, is with me now. Paul, we are so surprised here in London. Are you as surprised to see what Arthur Fery is achieving?
Well, thank you so much for having me, and I first have to say my heart is full for Arthur, and for him to have this experience that he's having at Wimbledon. I'm sure many folks in Great Britain are seeing him play for the first time over the fortnight at Wimbledon, seeing what an exceptional tennis player that he is. I'm here to tell you he's a better human being than he is a tennis player, and so to see wonderful things happen to good people is really fulfilling. Am I surprised? Well, I wouldn't say that at the beginning of the fortnight I would have predicted the Final Four standing to be a guy named Sinner, a guy named Djokovic, a guy named Zverev, and a guy named Fery. So I wouldn't have predicted that, and I think, in fact, I don't think Arthur would have either, and because I think it was reported yesterday that he's losing a deposit on a vacation in Greece right now. Yeah. But anyone who's seen Arthur play over the years know that his ceiling is consistent with where he's playing right now and the quality of tennis that he's showing right now.
Sorry to butt in, you flew in specially to see that quarter-final yesterday. What was it like to be on centre court and see him win in straight sets?
It was magnificent. He's shown so much poise and composure over these week and a half. I thought especially if you go back to Monday with his match against Dimitrov, First time this young man has ever stepped foot on the grandest stage our sport offers, center court at Wimbledon, growing up a mile away. For him to play, handle that kind of pressure and perform, execute the way he did under the most pressure you could possibly be under in our sport, I thought was really extraordinary. And then he's just running with it. If you take it Wednesday, the level of tennis he was playing over the course of that match against Kaboli was phenomenal. That third set was sublime. It's as close to perfection as you can get on a tennis court.
Can he keep that perfection going tomorrow? It's an even greater challenge. Zverev, number 2 seed here, French Open champion, 6'6", and Arthur's only 5'9". How can he tackle this semi-final?
Yeah, it's certainly a contrast in styles, and I don't want to lose sight of the fact that we're still talking about Arthur with 4 people left standing. And so at some point, the matchup tomorrow, who cares? Like, he is in the semis, so wonderful. That said, to look ahead to that match, you're playing against the best server in the world right now, who's playing with a ton of confidence, having just won his first Grand Slam title, deservedly so. I think Arthur's going to want to do everything he can to extend rallies on Sasha's service games and make Sasha earn points outside of the serve as best he can. But the one thing you can think about for Arthur, if you ask anyone in the world, you got to play Arthur Fery, what surface do you want to play him on? Nobody's choosing grass, right? By his own admission, he's a little bit shorter than the average player on tour. Ball stays low on grass. He's naturally low. It's a great surface for him. From that standpoint, it's a competitive advantage for him. So let's take our cracks.
Well, we're going to see what happens, Paul. It's great to have so much of your time this evening. I hope you enjoy tomorrow as much as we are going to. Down here at Wimbledon, we just cannot wait to see Arthur Fery in a Wimbledon semi-final tomorrow afternoon. Assad.
Chris, thanks very much. It's so nice to hear from somebody who knows Arthur Fery that he's an even nicer person than he is a great tennis player. Chris, thanks very much, and please thank your guests for us as well. Now, a record-breaking boy band from South Korea have had sell-out concerts at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this week, with their popularity rivalling Taylor Swift. But it's the impact they're having right across London which interests us. They've generated a boom time for Korean food, drinks, art and music. They've helped to boost business, while their huge army of fans, and this is just some of them over here, make friends wherever they go. Here's Ji Xian.
If you've been through central London this week, you might have noticed something a little different. From Tottenham to Oxford Street, BTS's return has transformed parts of the capital into one giant fan experience.
We've met so many people from around the world, literally in the line today. We're visiting Korea next year, and
because we
honestly,
would never have met without BTS.
We would have never have met without BTS.
The 7-member group from South Korea is widely considered one of the world's biggest boy bands. Their latest album, Arirang, made history as 2026's most streamed album in a single day. Now they're drawing visitors to London as part of BTS The City to celebrate. For the fans, a global, diverse group known simply as ARMY, this isn't just about the music. Across the capital, exhibitions and pop-ups like these are really proving that the fans are here to stay and want to celebrate South Korean culture, community, and one of the most famous global boy bands.
It's all really special whenever they go through this effort to really connect with the cities that are hosting them and give ARMYs kind of like a whole itinerary of things to do. It's been great.
That energy is translating into a massive financial injection for the Korean hospitality sector, where independent venues are introducing tailored menus to meet the demand.
BTS started their tour with the name Arirang. Thanks to them, the number of reservations has increased a lot. Before, London restaurants were not doing so well because of the economy, but now things seem to have returned to normal.
But beyond immediate sales, for Korean business owners, this moment represents a profound shift in mainstream visibility.
I've been living here for nearly 20 years. When I first came here, it wasn't like this at all. Nobody really knew what Korea was, and it's really nice to see our culture being celebrated in the heart of London. We're in Covent Garden, and you're seeing a lot of BTS reactions and Korean reactions, and a lot of the fans are actually like responding in Korean. It's just so pleasing to see.
Beautiful night. Beautiful night.
The stadium gates have now closed, but this takeover proves that South Korean culture is firmly cemented in the capital's mainstream and redefining the rhythm of London's streets. Gigi Ahn, BBC London.
Have a good night.
OK, time now for the weather forecast. Let's go over to the Sunflower for that. Dressed appropriately, Kate.
Yes, sunflowers all round. It is very warm outside today. Temperatures got up to 35.5. Now, you'll be forgiven for thinking that this was perhaps in Tuscany. It is not. It is in Dorking in Surrey. A little bit of cloud this afternoon, but other than that, no cloud coverage at all. And as I've said, 35.5. That was recorded at Wisley in Surrey, making it the 8th day this year where temperatures have risen above 34 Celsius. Now, the high pressure is still with us as we head into Friday, and the weekend just starts to move a little bit further north. So around the outside comes a breeze. Now, it's an northeasterly breeze, not especially strong, but it will get stronger through the weekend. And you'll notice here the temperature's still above average, but with the wind coming from the east for us here in the east, the temperatures will drop just a little. Not a lot, but a little bit, which may bring some relief, perhaps for the Wimbledon final. Now, overnight tonight, it is dry, little bit of cloud around actually feeding in from the east, not a lot. Minimum temperature perhaps not dropping below 20, which again will make it a tropical night. It did drop just below 20 last night. Tonight it may not, so another uncomfortable one. Any cloud in the morning is going to burn back. It is another hot and sunny day, but that easterly breeze just starts to move in. So the temperatures as a result, not quite the 35 we saw today. We're looking high 20s out towards the Essex coast. The further west you go, temperatures probably in the low 30s. So it is still hot, just not as hot as today. And this breeze is going to continue overnight Friday and into Saturday as well. Now, it is still a warm night overnight into Saturday morning. The minimum temperature, 17 Celsius. There's a bit more of a breeze, so if you've got the window open, could be a little more comfortable for sleeping. Now, any cloud first thing in the morning, which is fed in from the east, should burn back once again. More sunshine for Saturday. The breeze perhaps a little bit stronger, though, on Saturday. It is still hot. There is still a lot of sunshine around. Temperatures, though, in central London, 30. The further west and south you go, we're looking a little warmer. Those temperatures, because of the breeze being pushed further west. Similar conditions for Sunday, and these temperatures will last into next week. The heatwave continues.
Yeah, incredible. Cooler tomorrow, but still over 30 Celsius. Amazing. Yeah. OK, Kate, thanks very much for that. OK, that's it for now. Tennis from Wimbledon is on next. Alice is here with our late news at 10:30 on BBC One. I'll be back at the same time tomorrow. Whatever you're doing this evening, have a very good evening. Bye-bye.